The average American eats between 3 and 4 pounds of food per day and visits the grocery store approximately 2 times a week. Our lives revolve around food. It fuels us, it brings us together with family and friends, and it tastes delicious. But how often do we really stop to think about what we are putting into our bodies? For some of us, the answer is a lot. We count calories, we make sure our produce is fresh and our chicken organic, and we read the nutrition labels on the back of food packaging. But what do these labels actually mean, and how do we know they are trustworthy? The fact of the matter is that we don't always know what goes into our food and therefore what goes into our bodies. Many of the food products we know and love have misleading labels such as diet, sugar-free, and zero trans fats. These buzzwords grab our attention and lead us to believe that we are making healthy choices, but there is plenty that food companies aren't telling us about these labels. Companies are selective about what they put on their labels, choosing phrases that are in line with the Food and Drug Administration guidelines. However, loopholes and skewed marketing allow the food industry to target and deceive customers, claiming their products are a lot healthier than they actually are. As a result, consuming these products can lead to severe health consequences. From the mildly uncomfortable sugar rush to lethal disease, some examples of potential health risks include altered taste buds, weight gain, hypothyroidism, diabetes, and even cancer.
Take the label diet, for example. We've all seen this word or some variation such as sugar-free or zero trans fats printed on our favorite sodas and snacks. This label would have you believe that the product you are buying is a healthy substitute, but this is not necessarily the case. What food companies don't want you to know is that products that claim to be fat-free may contain additional calories from sugar that may be hidden or not overtly labeled. These added sugars may not appear on the label, but rather can be found on the side in a subsection of added sugars. Food products can also legally claim to contain zero trans fats if there is less than 0.5 grams of trans fats per serving. Organic is another label we are familiar with. There are many requirements to legally claim that a product is organic, but there are 3 lesser-known levels of organic that allow food companies to take shortcuts. The first level is 100% organic. If you see this label, it means that the product is entirely made of organic ingredients. The second level is simply labeled organic. If you see this on your food packaging, it means that at least 95% of the ingredients used are organic. The third level uses the phrase made with organic ingredients. This means that at least 70% of the ingredients used are organic. It is important to remember that simply seeing the word organic printed does not guarantee anything. Rather, individuals must be aware of these differing levels to organic products if they are intentionally avoiding non-organic ingredients due to health concerns. A third example of a misleading label is sugar-free. Although many food products contain this eye-catching phrase, several of these use artificial sweeteners instead of sugar. Artificial sweeteners are not necessarily healthier than regular sugar and may actually pose greater risk for health problems such as diabetes and heart disease. Lastly, fresh is another common label on a variety of food products. To be considered fresh, foods must be raw or unprocessed, never have been frozen or heated, and contain no preservatives. However, fresh does not mean that food products were picked recently or killed recently. Instead, such ingredients can sit in storage for a very long time, allowing for bacteria to accumulate and still be considered fresh. As such, it is important to keep in mind what fresh actually means and to remember to wash your food products before eating them. One of the most lethal health consequences that stems from poor dietary choices is diabetes, a disease that occurs when glucose levels in the blood are too high. The symptoms include excessive thirst and hunger, frequent urination, weight loss or gain, fatigue, and blurred vision. Misleading or deceitful food packaging puts people at risk of developing this disease, as people may be unaware of the levels of sugar and trans fats they are consuming.
The number of people with diabetes in the US increased more than threefold between 1990 and 2010, but research into the connection between sugar consumption and type 2 diabetes is ongoing. Although eating sugar does not directly cause type 2 diabetes, some evidence suggests that the greater overall availability of sugar makes diabetes more common. A 2016 review suggests that the factor that leads to diabetes is a monosaccharide called fructose. The liver absorbs fructose without regulating the intake, potentially leading to a buildup of liver fats and a decrease in insulin sensitivity. Insulin sensitivity shapes how effectively cells use glucose, removing it from the bloodstream. When this decreases, blood sugar can become persistently high, potentially leading to type 2 diabetes.
Studying the ingredients is always a good start. Product ingredients are listed by quantity. So, a good rule of thumb is to scan the first 3 ingredients as they make up the largest part of what you're eating. Try choosing items that have whole foods listed as the first 3 ingredients. In addition, ingredients lists that are longer than 2 to 3 lines suggest that the product is highly processed. Next, we also need to watch out for serving sizes. Nutrition labels state how many calories and nutrients are in a standard amount of the product, often a suggested single serving. However, these serving sizes are frequently much smaller than what people consume in one sitting. For example, one serving may be half a can of soda, a quarter of a cookie, or half a chocolate bar. Thus, manufacturers try to deceive consumers into thinking that the food has fewer calories and less sugar. Many people, however, are unaware of the serving size scheme, assuming that the entire container is a single serving, when in truth it may consist of 2, 3, or more servings. Most importantly, the best way to avoid being misled by product labels is to avoid processed foods. Whole foods provide the vitamins and minerals you need for optimal health, and it does not have a confusing ingredient list. However, if you decide to buy packaged foods, be sure to carefully read nutrition labels.